All right, we are live. What's going on? How's everybody's day going? Crazy Monday, right? Uh, yeah, let's talk about the day. Let's talk about what happened today. So, we started out the day kind of going off that dump that happened over the weekend based on the IREN peace talks failing. And this morning, I believe something Trump said regarding like overseeing the strait and allowing passage, and something happened. So like I guess the markets took that the right way. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even paying attention at this point. I just saw the market start to rally. Shorts got trapped, and we started to run. I saw the pump coming. I just didn't get the level I wanted on a few things. What's good, Renaissance? What's good? So yeah, like I'm gonna start off talking about a few things we were watching this morning. So look, Q's. I posted this yesterday. I was like, this is something we need to watch for. Was look, we were sitting, where were we? We were right up here on the open. Let me get my session indicator here. So when we opened New York, we opened like right around here. We had London low just below us, right? So obviously, if I want to go long, I'm looking for that London sweep. And this was across the board. Like in the group, we were all waiting for a sweep of liquidity before a move up. Unfortunately, we didn't get that sweep on a lot of things. So Q's kind of took off without us. I took my crack at a short up here. Once the gap got filled, I closed out really quickly and got out of it. I didn't make any money on it. It was like a break even after fees. And I got into another trade I'll talk about in a minute. But look, same thing with SPY, man. SPY, we actually started off like somewhere around here. And this is the London low, and we failed to go get the London low. We just ripped up, man. They didn't come back. They went and filled the gap completely as well on the SPY, and they just kept going. So right now, I mean, as far as I can see, like, look, we're in resistance, right? So that's not to be said, but this is a strong rally, so it's kind of hard to fade right now. I mean, look, we keep going. I think we're going to hit that all-time high again. So 7,000 could be coming for a SPY. Question is, what do we do when we get up there? So, but from what I'm seeing, there's a little bit of there's conviction here. There's a good rally going, so we'll see how this plays out in the coming days. I'm looking. Oh man, let me talk about my gold trade this morning. So I gave this call yesterday in the Discord. We talked about it in the live as well. Like we saw that gold broke down, and I said it's gonna fill this gap. I got to go to a lower time frame so you can actually see the gap. So the gap was right here. I'm gonna get rid of this box for just a second. All right. So the gap is here. I was like, we're gonna fill this gap. It filled it last night. This was London low. That was the sweep. I got in right there on the sweep, and they stopped me. There was some foolery that was going on down here before they pumped it up. And on that second pass down, I had moved my stop to break even, and they went and got me. And unfortunately, that was right before it ripped. So by the time I realized I was stopped out, gold took off. So I'm not afraid to admit that I fucked that one up. Excuse my language. But hey, man, I was right on the call. It wasn't right about the execution. And it happens sometimes, Sometimes you mess up. Should have given a little more breathing room. But look, gold still is in lower high territory, right? You could see we are still kind of like fighting with the previous highs. And you can just see we're just creating lower highs each time. So it's really got to prove itself here. If gold's going to make a move, it's got to break back above 4,800 in my opinion. Until that, man, I'm just looking at lower highs. So this could just be a bullish rally, before a bigger dump. So we'll see what happens with gold, but I'll keep my eye on at this level. I want to see if it rolls over here and comes back down to test that 47.30, 47.35. See what happens tonight. Where's VWAP at this thing? So I'm watching for some trades on this. That's why I'm talking about it. But like, see what I mean? Like, this is what I'm watching on it. It's like trending into resistance right now, or what I believe is resistance, trend resistance. So if it's going to break down and starts to slip this trend, it could drop down. And I'm thinking like right down here maybe is a good area to start looking for a little short. Right out to this low right here if it does lose that trend. potentially a little bit further and down here. You know, these are two levels I'm looking for a scalp short tonight. So if that happens, maybe if I get an opportunity. Where's VWAP at? Asia just opened. So if we lose VWAP, right, on gold, lose trend, lose VWAP, I'm looking for that back test confirmation for the continuation down. That's where I'll go short. Unless we get an SFP. If we get an SFP opportunity, then maybe. But right now I'm not seeing a good spot for an SFP because the liquidity lies above. It's up here. So we'd have to really shoot up for that to happen. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Oil. I called this one yesterday and this morning. I said, this is what's going to happen with oil. I said, oil was sitting up here, right? We had that big shoot up. It was a fake out breakdown. Stop out all the shorts, and then it was starting to chop. And I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see oil take a dump if we lose this level here around 102. It's going to come down hard, probably back down to 96, and it did. I said it this morning when we were up here. I'm like, probably if we lose this, we're going to go down, and we're doing that. So oil right now is on the downtrend. So if it continues here, I mean, look, the next stop is 95. If it loses 95, we're back down into the 90s, like low 90. And then potentially lower depending on what oil does. So this could just be a distribution right here. So we have to see what happens. So, you know, what I'm kind of seeing in the charts, a little bit of shoulder ahead, right shoulder. Maybe that plays out. Maybe we do continue down. 85 would be a nice target if it does start to actually break down and confirm a breakdown of this bear flag. So we'll see what happens with oil. If oil gets back above 100, then it's back game on again. You know, 100 is going to be resistance. So we'll see what happens. What's up, Serene? When's Tesla's earnings? I'll look at Tesla. Just give me a second. I'm going to go trying to get my trade setups. Oh, Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. I gave out this call in the Discord yesterday, and I'm going to brag about it because it was a banger freaking call. I said, look, if this thing breaks, it didn't sweep all the lows, but it did sweep a low. It didn't sweep the low. But if it broke, I was looking for the continuation up. Why? Because you just pull a value area on this thing. And look, we came down to the value area low. I said, if it can reclaim value area low, expect to move back up. And that's what we got. And I was actually long last night. I took a small position, held it. Even through this morning's volatility, I tried to actually catch another long, but it never got to my level. I was looking for the sweep to add to my long. Never got it. I exited today around just under 74,000. So I exited my position up here. I closed out 8 Rs on that. So I risked 1 to make 8 at the end of the day. I made like $1,000 on this trade all in all. Wasn't bad. It was a fun trade. It was an overnight swing trade. I wanted to add more, but I didn't get the position. New York just took off, so we didn't get the opportunity. So right now, what I'm looking at on Bitcoin is this. This is really where we sit, and this is my next play. We're coming for that 76. I said that in the Discord. By the way, guys, if you're not subscribed, if you're not following, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow. We go live 6 days a week, myself and Ben. So some days we're live twice a day. Today we were live twice. We also have a Discord where you can join for free. Go to the tacticaledgetraders.com. You'll have free courses you'll have access to. And we'll teach you everything you need to know about trading. And it's all on those courses. They're free. We don't charge for those. And you can join the Discord. And I post setups and stuff. Like I post things I'm looking at. We're not a signals group, but I will throw charts out there. And I said, hey, we're coming up to 76. Trends up. Just get used to it. Like we're going to hit this level. Now, when we hit this level, one, I'm looking for a short-term short. I'm looking for a scalp up here when we do get up there. But in the short term, this became support. When we broke this 73.7, 73.8, all right around this level right here, this line, that was resistance. You see, we smacked our heads a few times on it, right? And then we finally broke it. So I'm looking to see if we're going to remain bullish and we're going to take 76 sooner. I think we're going to hold this level. So what I'm looking for is some type of dip down and then a move up. Can we get that? We'll see. Could it dip lower than that? Sure, but I would need to see this level reclaimed for me to go long. So the idea is for me to catch a long somewhere down here near this low with a stop underneath targeting the high up here. So it's a little swing play. It might take a couple hours. It might take a couple days. We don't know. But I want to see what happens when we get down here. If we deviate below, then I'm not interested anymore. I'm going to wait and see what happens if we can reclaim. But the idea is we need to show support here. And that's my next long I'm looking for on BTC. So right now we got to see what happens with VWAP. We're testing it as we speak. We just reset. So Asia just opened. Tokyo market has just opened. So if we get below VWAP, I'm looking for support here. I'm looking for a divergence. I'm looking for a trend to form and maybe like some type of pattern. Maybe it's a bull flag. Maybe it's something. I'm looking for something here to give me like confidence to want to take a long up here, right around here for a continuation up. Otherwise, if it gains acceptance back below, then I might be looking for the short. Simple. If you draw a trend from this low here, this is where we came down and tapped VWAP this morning. I mean, we've got a nice little money line here, right? And you could see that money line kind of coincides with that level I'm looking for. So that's what I want to see today. If I see that during Asia, I might entertain a long if I get the right setup. But that's what I'm looking at. Everything's reacting in the world news, Ross. That's what look. Markets aren't following TA right now, dude. We were like look, everything said short this morning if you're just looking at the charts. And the minute the market opened, it just did the opposite. It literally just blew all the TA out the water. So like if you were planning the short, you got squeezed. If you were in the short, you got squeezed. Were you probably right with your technicals? Yeah, but the market's reacting to news. So it's everything, man. It's gold, it's S&P, it's Qs, it's oil. Crypto, they all follow each other. So, yeah. I mean, look, dude, that's at the end of the day, that's what's going on. What's up, Starboy? Sorry, I just saw that over there. Let me go take a look at. Somebody asked for something before that. I got to go look at Tesla. Sorry, somebody did ask for Tesla. Then I'll go look at SOXL. I got to change this song. 1 second, guys. That was bad. So somebody tell me when earnings is for Tesla. Hold on, let me see if I can get that. It's not showing me earnings. Just want to fix the screen. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing earnings on here. Let me go to a higher time frame. See if it's there. There it is. So their earnings are on Wednesday. They typically do their earnings calls after market. So you're looking Wednesday after market. And let's see. Let's just mark it off. So Wednesday, 4:30. I'll just throw a little vertical line. There we go. A little later than that out, but you get what I'm saying. So look, you got to watch and see what Tesla's doing going into it. Right now, what has Tesla been doing for quite a bit of time? It's been downtrending. So would it be crazy to see a reversal soon? We're coming into liquidity. We got this liquidity down here at 327 that we haven't. It's untapped. Maybe we go for it now. Maybe we save it and come back for it later. But what I'm expecting is some movement. If we're doing this into earnings, then I expect maybe a reversal. Take out some of the liquidity. Everything else is pumping. Tesla hasn't. So maybe it's lagging the market, but I think the key for you to get bullish on Tesla is you got to break this trend. Break this trend. Give me some flips on market structure on the higher time frame. Get back above this level at 380, and then you can really rip. But, get above this trend, you might have a move up to 380, 385. But 385 is really the level you want to get back above, and then you can get a nice little pop-up on Tesla. So, but, I mean, locally, it's just downtrending. Don't fight the trend until it flips. So structure needs to start to flip, and it hasn't done that yet. And it probably won't happen until this trend breaks. Because you could see this is the next 4-hour high you'd have to attack. And it's getting, it's getting closer to that trend. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for now, your support's down here. If it continues down, right, you got support down here at 326 if you continue the trend down. And that would be the first area I'd be looking for maybe a bounce if we do continue down. Otherwise, break trend, flip it. And we'll see. You got a couple days to watch Tesla. I wouldn't get into positions ahead of time. I'd probably wait till let the market digest it. Let the volatility of earnings happen. Wait for the directional shift later that night when Asia opens, or you can wait for New York to open the following day on Thursday. And you'll probably have a better shot of getting like a good direction or read on what the market's doing. So that's just that's my opinion. So let me go to SOXL. I mean, look, it's just breaking out, man. You're in price discovery now, dude. We said if this thing breaks from this flag, right? This is the flag it was in. And if it could break, it's gonna run, and it did. It did break, right? We had a longer term trend it was holding from back here in April of last year, and that was the move. We're like, attack the highs. If it breaks the highs, you go into price discovery. I mean, look, you've broken all the highs. This is now support. Next time. You know, this 72 has flipped into support now, or at least you'd hope it flips into support. So any pullbacks into that level, you want to see if it holds and see if the buyers are convicted to push it higher. Otherwise, you gain acceptance back in here. That CME gap down to 55 looks juicy. But right now, I don't want to fight the trend, so it's up, man. If it continues here, I don't know. I don't know where this thing's going to go. I'll be honest with you. It's uncharted territories. Could it go up to 100? Maybe. Could it go to 90? Maybe. Could it go higher? We'll see. Lower time frames. Look, it's already starting to show a little bit of support here at that 72. So just keep watching that level. No real structure yet. The structure's just up. So, you know, the expectation here is you buy the dips until you don't. But you know, when you get into price discovery like this, I get a little defensive because I'd imagine people are taking profits heavy in this area. But the key is going to be this level here, so watch that. What is the site called for trading? I'm kind of new. Oh, so it's tacticaledgetraders.com. That's our website. You can we have free courses, teach you how to trade, get you ready to, you know, get into these markets and actually navigate them properly with good risk management, not get blown up. And yeah, we have a Discord you can join too from that website. Check that out. Group of real traders. We trade live together. If you're interested in that, you can look into Operator. That's one of our tiers in our Discord. But it is free to join for beginners, so you don't need to pay to get in. It's more of like when you're ready to move on to that next level. So check us out, and then you can also subscribe, follow. That way you get notifications when we go live. You can learn by watching. That's what I did when I was beginning. Watched other people trade, picked up things as they, you know, how they saw the markets, and it helped me develop my own. So that's SOXL. Have I done SPY? I did look at SPY already. SPY's up against resistance short term, but like I mean 7,000 is where I think it's going at this point, man. It's broken all the big levels. You said time to be buying. I mean, I don't know about all that, but maybe. They manipulate cryptocurrencies on coin tracking them and threat. I don't know what we're talking about right now. Sure did. Let's go look at IREN. Let's take a look at IREN. So look, I gotta get rid of everything. It kind of sucks. I had this thing T8 out. So look, it's been consolidating for quite a bit of time, right? And we're saying, look, the big key level to break above is this here. And you're getting there. You're close. You got to get back above that $45, $46 level. Flip that into support, and you got a good shot of getting back up to this 63. So it's level by level, you know. Right now, you're up against resistance. So would I be looking for longs here? Probably not. I'd be looking for, you know, maybe a rejection and then a higher low to break us through. That'd be the bullish case, I think. I don't think we just rip through. Or we break, and then we retest as support. Those are my long scenarios there. So that's what I'd be looking for to the upside. To the downside, I mean, look, dude, it's pretty simple. It's like this is the low, 31. That's the daily low. You're up against daily support resistance. If you reject here, you know, you could come all the way back down to this low here. We do have a little bit of a trend beneath that maybe will hold some value later on, but we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Right now, we're up against resistance. Let's see what happens. You know, we'll play the reaction. So, but look, I mean, ideally, if you want to stay bullish on the 4 hour, stay above 37.60. That's how you stay bullish on the 4 hour. And if you want to stay bullish on the daily, you got to put a higher low and above this 31. So as long as you do that, I think you have a shot. You start losing some of those bigger lows like down here, then I think this thing looks a little bit more bearish. But hey, if it does coil up for a move, this could be a nice one. Momentum doesn't look too bad on the weekly. Weekly looks like it's gearing up for a move. It's got to break this resistance, though. I think it pops, though, pretty nicely, and it makes a good beeline up here if it does break. Let me go look at BOTZ. That's IREN. I mean, it's an interesting one. It looks like it's topped out, man. That's just what it looks like, but it's climbing. So here's the thing. It's been uptrending back into the highs. We got the initial rejection. What I don't like is that we put in a new low, right? So like this was the previous weekly low, and then we broke down below that, closed, and now we put in a lower low. So I'm skeptical here. Like this has a lot to prove if I'm going to get bullish on BOTZ. And in order for me to get bullish at this point, I got to see a break of 40. And I just wouldn't go long here personally. That's just me. But if it did break that, then, you know, there's a good chance, you know, if it does break its way up here, can invalidate that break of structure right there. And then maybe you can continue up with the uptrend on the weekly. Daily, I mean, I would just say you're trading in a range right now, right? On the daily. Get rid of everything. Just make it simple, right? That's your range. So get above range high, you know, you got to probably move back up to this range high around 38. But if it can't get back above 38 and puts in a lower high, then it's probably gearing up for a bigger move down. So this range is really going to dictate the next move. So see what happens. Your range low is around 33 and your range high is around 38. So that's BOTZ. Oracle. Vampiro? I don't know what this guy's talking about in the chat, guys. Something about manipulation. Preaching to the choir, dude. Everything. There's manipulation in everything, unfortunately. Crypto's not just the only place there's manipulated. Although it is heavily manipulated, I'll say that much. But that's kind of like that's the risk you take playing in the crypto space. So I think Ben was talking about Oracle earlier. I overheard a little bit of what he's saying. You know, it's at a spot. If it's going to bounce, man, it's there. You know, software's been beaten down pretty bad. Like really badly with everything going on with AI and shit. I mean, so maybe this thing does make a move. Is there bullish divergence here? There is. There's weekly bullish divergence going into this trend low, right? So that's a good sign. We're breaking a weekly high right here, swing high. So we've got our BOS, our break of structure on the weekly. We don't have a market structure shift just yet. But with this break of structure, my expectation is your next target probably at some point is going to be up to this high, around 165. So whether it goes straight up there now or pulls back, puts in a higher low and makes its way up here, I think this is the next level to tackle. If you can break this level, though, it's going to rip. I'm going to say that much. It's got a lot of recovery to, you know, this is a low volume gap, fast up, fast down. And it's going to rip back up to this zone here. If it does manage to get a bounce, it's going to pretty quick move back up into this area up here, I would say. I could show you on the volume tools on the right, not the VWAP. That's the wrong one. VRVP. So you can see the volume, it just drops off, man, above this zone. So get above 165, and this thing has a good shot getting back up into the 190s, 200s. And then you see what happens. This is a chop zone. Does it reject here or does it continue up? Maybe it'll consolidate a little bit before a bigger move, but that's your key. But right now you're holding support. You got bullish divergence on the weekly. I think this thing's got a chance. I do think it has a chance. Let me look at volume before I jump off this one. So weekly volume's good. Look at that. You know, it looks like they've been buying up on this dip. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Looks good, though. That's Oracle. I mean, it could have, but, like, you got to remember, man, like, it's got to, I gave you the bullish case. It's got to prove itself. Like, I can only see what I see on the charts. At the end of the day, if it breaks structure, even if it's because of a news event, it closed down there. It had a chance to wick back up there and close above it, but it closed above that. It closed below that low, that last weekly low. So it had 2 weeks to make a decision and get back up there if they wanted to, like, show conviction to go higher. So right now you just got to kind of, like, read the flags. It doesn't necessarily mean it can't go higher. It's just, but I've given those levels because, like, that's what I would need to see for me to think in my head, like, okay, I'm bullish on this now. Right now I'm just kind of like, I'm impartial. You know, I'm not bearish, I'm not bullish, but I'm just like, there are signs to see the bearish side. So kind of keep, and you're above all-time highs. So it's hard for me to want to, like, find up, like, you know, it's hard to see along in that. I see the short a lot easier. If that makes sense. But, you know, hey, we'll see what happens. Look at this thing. It pumped out over the market, after market. So Oracle's already on its way up to this 165. See what happens when it gets up there. Yeah, I can go look at some SMCI. But before I do that, I need you guys to hit that like, hit that subscribe, follow, get notifications when we go live 6 days a week. And if you're not part of the group, check out the Discord. Go to tacticaledgetraders.com. Join Discord. It's free to sign up on the website. Perks of the website, you'll get free training courses on trading. We don't like gatekeep that stuff. It's free. It's not hidden behind any paywalls. It's all free for you. So look, SMCI, super microchip. We talked about this. I said, look, this is the scenario. You have an ascending triangle. It's either going to break up or break down. If it breaks up, it's going to fill the CME gap that it left behind. When it closed back on March 19th or March 20th and opened back down here, like, it had like an $8 drop over the weekend. That was on the war stuff. So it's now entered that gap. You know, there's a very good chance it's going to make its way through this gap to make a decent amount of it. It's not guaranteed it fills the whole thing up, but I would imagine this is the target up here around $29, $30. And we've talked about this before in the past, guys. So, like, this is not a surprise. If you're not long, it's not the time to smash long. What you do, you wait for a pullback, whether it's now or whether it's later. At some point, it'll come back down to trend or retest the bottom of the gap, and then you might get a nice little long opportunity back up to the top. I would look for something like that. Otherwise, if it shoots straight up here, man, it is what it is. You missed the boat. Sometimes the market gives you gifts. Sometimes it just takes off without you, but you got to stick to your plan. My trading style says don't long green candles. Wait for a pullback. But yeah, it looks good, man. Support's down here 24. Resistance, I think right now is up here at like 29.30. Thoughts on Bloom. Let me go look at CVX real quick. Someone asked for that earlier and I skipped over it by accident. Chevron. I was actually watching for this short too. I had it played out. Look at the TA I had on Chevron. I'll see if it breaks down. I'm looking for the back test to take a short down to like 160. So look, I'm gonna get rid of all the bullshit. Let me just go to a higher time frame. All right. Chevron did some massive things. I got to go to a even higher time frame than that. I just removed all my indicators, guys. Oh, there we go. Don't want to do that again. I would have sucked. So look, Chevron broke out from its all-time high that's been holding for many years. Back in 2021, and it's been consolidating and turned that into support. Look, it turned it into support. We actually gave this call back in like last year. I was watching this flag and I said, hey, this thing, energy sector's going nuts. Watch this thing. And what did it do? It popped. It broke out and had a nice rip to the upside. Took out the highs, put in a new all-time high around 211. So what's it doing now? It's doing what everything does when it pumps. Eventually, people are going to sell, take profits, and it's going to have a little bit of a pullback. So right now, it's getting a little bit of support at the previous all-time high that I put in here around 188. So if it loses that level, my next zone to watch is going to be down here around 165. And that's the level I was talking about before. Why does it make sense? Because it's a pretty decent gap here, and this was the range we were trading in before the breakout. So if it came back down here and back tested this range, that wouldn't be crazy to me. Assuming it doesn't hold 188. If it stays above 188, man, this thing's going to continue up. But just give you a little context here. We were trending up since December of last year, right? And look at that. We just lost that trend. So it could be early signs for a little bit of a pullback or correction because it has been running. So I'd be watching that 188. If 188 starts to slip, I think 165 is probably the next target. And inversely, if it holds, look, you're looking back up to the highs around 214. Those are the levels, higher time frame levels. I'm going to go check on Bitcoin real quick. So I'm looking for that pullback, which we're getting right now. This is what I wanted, back into this zone here. We're getting a little bit of a trend too. So I'm going to track this trend. If we get a move down here like this, and we can pop this trend, boom. That's what I want to see. We'll come back to that. We'll see what happens. Look at frickin', oh man. Qs are ripping aftermarket. That's crazy. Anyway, what else are we looking at? I've already looked at Tesla, Bitcoin, bub. My bad, brother. We literally just went over a decent amount of Tesla. If you spam it in the chat, I'm probably just going to ignore you guys. I'm not trying to be a dick, but it doesn't get annoying when somebody spams the ticker 20 times. Because I do try to get everybody's ticker. But then I start to miss people because somebody's spamming something. All right, so this thing, man, this thing's been beaten to hell. I mean, shit, like if it keeps going down, I mean, here's your next zone, right? It's down here around like this $14 level. That's a low that you put in back in 2020. To the upside, I mean, there's the big level. This is what you got to get back above. So I'm going to go and zoom in a little bit closer time frames and see what's happening here. I mean, look, it's in a strong downtrend. Let's not fade this thing, right? It's in a strong downtrend. So if it starts to push up, where I flip a little bit indifferent here and maybe start looking more bullish is if it gets back above $39. I need to see it get back above that before I flip bullish. Because then what does it do? See this gap we left behind back here when it dumped out? That now becomes a target for them to go fill. And then you got the gap above it too if they ever decide they want to go up there too. So you got like all this left behind. But it all starts when you get back up here. Otherwise, what I would be looking for is if you do come down here to this 14, maybe we sweep it, maybe we reclaim, and then you get a long off that. That could be another place to watch. But right now the trend is strong down, so it's got to prove something. You know, maybe something like that, and then boom. Or makes its way back up here, flip that, and then you make the move up. So, you know, go along there, or you would go along there on the back test, just to be safe. But it's got to prove it. Like for now, it's down until it's not. But those are your levels. What's up, Kush? All right, I'm gonna go look at Sandisk real quick because I think Ben looked at it earlier. I don't even really want to look at this thing, but I'll do a quick analysis on it. I already know what it's gonna look like. It's straight up, dude. It's hard to TA this thing because it's just been up only, right? So we were looking for a pullback last time I checked. We got it, and then we ripped up again. I'm going to keep it simple for you, man. Here's your support, 780.82. That's your big support if you do get a pullback. Here's your trend. Right? You see the trend we got there? You lose the trend, you look down to 782 for support. If those hold, then you still have a chance of an uptrend going up. Inversely, you lose that, and you get acceptance back under here, then you're starting to look down here around 580. To the upside, who the fuck knows, man? I guess $1,000 is where we're headed. It looks like it wants to go to 1,000. Maybe we'll go a little higher. We'll see. It's a psychological number. We'll see what happens. I really don't know where it's going to go, unfortunately. So it's the best I can do on Sandisk. Maybe just watch that trend if you're long. I got to see what's happening over here. Did we get a freaking trend break already? You bastard. And we got a trigger wave too. No, it's not a trigger wave. I don't know if I trust this. Hold on. I gotta go look at my Bitcoin trade. Or not trade setup. I need to see what's happening here. It just feels fake. I don't know. I don't like that. It's breaking prematurely. Didn't even take this liquidity down here. Let me see. Is there volume behind it? I mean, the 15 and the 1 hour look overcooked. Like they need to pull back. Yeah, I'm not biting on that. Let me see where VWAP's at. That might be just a back test. It's back testing VWAP right now. That's what we're seeing is a back test. So we'll see. Anyways, gold's still going up. God damn it. Fake out. Yeah, I'm not even bothering with it, man. I want to see that level get hit. If it goes up without me, I don't care. I'll just look for the short at 76. Let me go look at MSFT real quick. Somebody asked for that. Whew. Man, I gotta get off the 15-minute. All right. I mean, I hate the fact that it front ran this level at 348. So I'm still gonna mark this off because it's important to watch. But look, it's trying to make a break here. It's attempting. If you just take a trend down, I mean, it's like right there. It's like so close. All right. So, but I think really for Microsoft to get bullish, you got to get back above this high. Like straight up, this is the daily high you got to break. So for this thing to flip bullish, in my opinion, either take the low and then get a sweep and a reclaim of this 346. That'd be my bull scenario 1, right? That'd be awesome, right? Get like that, boom, boom, and then you could take off. Or you pump up, take out this high right here at 412, come back, put a higher low in, and then continue up. Those are the bull cases. So I don't know if it goes much lower than this 346. It's going to get a nice bounce there, I think. So I'd be looking for a pump in those two areas. But your resistance is at 412 and your support's at 346. So those are your big levels on MSFT. All right. EOSE. What is EOSE? All right. So look, this is like accumulation range. It broke out, bounced, and then popped, right? This is where it took off. This is the launch pad before it had a big break up to about $20 back in October of last year. So it's finding support there now, which is a good sign, but can it hold? Weekly's reset, so maybe there's a shot for a move up. Internally, look, on the daily, you got to get back above this level. This is the level to break. You got to get back above like $6.75, $7. If you do that, you open up the floodgates for you to go up and fill this gap here. See that gap? That could be your target if it does pump up and break above this level. What I'm expecting, though, is the first pass up here, and this is just how I like to think. It doesn't mean it has to happen. You're going to get a rejection. And you're going to pull back, and then it's going to move up and take it out. If it's going to continue up, it'll come put a higher low. Most likely. Because oftentimes they trap people on this breakout here. So I'd be looking for like a little breakout, fake out, and then look for the first higher low on the higher time frames to formulate, and then you might get that push up or confirm that push up. And look, if it fills this gap and it keeps going, then your next target's up around $10, $11. The gap sits up at almost $10. So I think that's an easy move if you get back above $7. And then you have to flirt with going back into this range here, man. That's the next trading range, right? So this becomes resistance. If you do get back above 10, that, $11.50, $12 is going to become resistance, and you'll see what happens. But that's far away. Play the local levels first. So that's EOSE. Yeah, there's a lot of words for it, Bilal. There's a lot of words for it. I like to keep it simple. I don't like to throw too much terminology out there. But a guy I used to trade with, or I still do trade with him. He's taking a little bit of a break. He likes the technical terms on things. He likes to use his chachas and his BOSs and market structure shifts and mitigation. Like he's got all those terms for things. And I say it just in a different way. I look at the same levels, just a different way. I just keep it simple. Yeah, I'll go check that out. What's the ticker, Serene? You got to give me a ticker. I'm going to look at AMD in the meanwhile. Are you looking to buy Microsoft? No, I'm not looking to buy anything right now, man. Somebody was asking about it. I was just TAing it for. If I was going to buy anything right now, it's probably not going to be Microsoft. I hate Microsoft as a company. The reason I say that is because I'm a customer. I've been a lifelong customer of Microsoft, and they suck. Half the stuff they do now, AI does better. So, look, here's the thing, man. You could be in a bull flag, maybe on AMD. Potential, right? But you could also be at the range high. So, we'll see what happens, right? We're going to see how this plays out. So, you're coming up into resistance around this 260. Let's just get rid of all that stuff. 260 is going to be resistance. We'll see how that fares when you get up there. If you break that, then it's going to confirm the breakout of this bull flag, and then you probably got to move up to, 350 maybe? 380, I guess. That's the measured move. If it breaks it, it takes you up to like this 360, yeah. That'd be a crazy move, though, but I wouldn't bank on it. We'll see, though. I mean, weekly looks geared up. Weekly looks juiced up right now to make a move, so shit, man. Break above 364, and then I think it's on for AMD. Otherwise, your weekly support sits down here at 188. If it does decide to reject here, right, and make the full move back down to the bottom of the range, which essentially is down here, it's at 200. So if it gets rejected here, you're coming back down here likely. That's AMD. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about TA. You can do it on all time frames. Thoughts on AAOI? I don't know. I'll go look at it, though. I mean, I don't really have thoughts on it, dude. What can I say about it? It's going up. It's in price discovery. It's been in price discovery. Not much to say. It's up. You see it flip that old resistance. There's that little bull flag I'm talking about that AMD could be doing right now. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is the pattern you're looking for, but you're looking for that breakout to confirm it. Otherwise, it could just reject and come back down. So, but look, you broke the flag. 104, 102 is going to be support. I would say like 102 is support right now. The major support you need to hold above. You could get a little bit of a temporary support above this high here, sitting around 127. So you could just throw a little line in there just to kind of mark that off. And if you go down to a lower time frame, man, the trend's up. Don't fade it. So as long as the trend is up, just respect the trend. There's your trend line. You can just chill and watch that. If it starts to fade that, then you got some levels to the downside to watch, right? You got 126 and you got 101. Otherwise, I don't know where it's going to go, if I'm being honest. Maybe 200. What's the measured move? Let's see what that is first. About 200. That'll make sense. It's a psychological number. We'll see. We'll see. That's AAOI. Applied. I'm not even going to try to say that. Optoelectronics, maybe, I guess. Yeah. AAIO is a different ticker from what I think we're looking at here. I'm not sure, but sure below. It's AG. Gotcha. All right. So First Majestic Silver Corp. Whew. All right. Weekly low. And down here, there's our high of the range right there we're in. Let's see what's going on here. I'll be honest with you, this looks more like a bear flag than anything. I'll take the trend here. The trend's been breached. Looks like we're coming down. Looks like we took liquidity up here. We attempted to break, got rejected, and then it broke down from the flag. So I guess what I would want to see here, it's a little choppy, but what I would want to see is get back above $23, and then you got room for upside. That's the level to crack here. You get back above that, and you got a shot back up to 27, potentially up to 32 if it wants to take the all-time high again. But I'll be honest with you, this thing's following regular silver. I don't see a world where silver goes back up to its all-time high. I think silver is going to chop sideways for a while, if not down, because the market structure. Look at it. Just look. There's your weekly high. That was the swing low, then the weekly high, and we broke that previous low. So there's your BOS. That's your breaker structure. That's your lower high getting put in or attempting to get put on the weekly. If this thing starts to come down and take out this low here, that's a market structure shift on the weekly. It's probably going to open up the gates for it to come down a lot lower. I would say around 16.15 probably is the next level if it does lose this low. Somewhere in this area. See price reacted when it got there before, but we'll see. Can it get back above 23? Maybe it can. That's AG. Thoughts on Tesla? I already gave my thoughts on Tesla, Bilal. I thought you were here. We talked about Tesla. I don't remember what I said, if I'm being honest. You go over to the YouTube, you can watch the recording back. It's in there. JT said that could be an inverted head and shoulders on Bitcoin on the 4-hour. Where do you see an inverted head and shoulder on the 4-hour? Let me see. Something like this. Maybe. I just think if you keep it simple on Bitcoin, this is what Bitcoin's doing right now. I'm gonna show you some TA fucking voodoo magic. All right. So we have our next high, swing high on the daily, sits up here. If you just drag this line over, you can see 79K has been like kind of like a resistance or support at some point. You know, we get choppy around there. And if you also look, it's also right where the parallel is above us if you're the parallel channel. So this is just a giant bear flag. So what did we do before we broke down last time? We popped up. We popped up. We took all the liquidity. So we took the liquidity here. So these highs, these highs, and before they jump down. So if this thing was going to pump up, it's going to probably take this high out before it runs down. So that would be a nice target around 79. Could it go higher? Sure. But that's kind of where I'm seeing my next stop if it does make its way past 76, which I think it may. I think that's the next stop for BTC. But yeah, that kind of works out. If this is an inverse head and shoulders, it could take us up there. Potentially. We'll see. Which is stronger stock? 30 gains between ONDS and I don't know, dude. It's a hard question. Type it into Google. AI will tell you. I really don't know. I don't even know what I know what ONDS is, but I haven't compared and contrasted them to see what's going on. So look, I talked about this breakout a while back. I mean, I even drew it out. I said, look, I'm going to give you the proof in the pudding here. Go to the weekly. The last time the weekly was at the bottom and we had a green dot, what did we do? The green dot on Market Cipher. This thing proceeded to pump. I called this out the last time. I think I even threw this in the Discord. And we got a green dot here on the weekly. Momentum is completely reset, right? And we're starting to break up. So, you know, I think this is a clean breakout here for me. Money flow looks good. I mean, this wick's a good target here around 25. But, I mean, look, the measured move takes you up to about $36 if it decides it wants to run up that high. it flipped this area. I've been talking about this one for months, Cypher. This one's in the Discord. You can backlog this one if you want to check it. But we flipped this $13 level, and it did the same thing. It just consolidated for years before it decided to pump. But this pump's going to be a big one. It's going to move a lot like Chevron. Chevron, ran up pretty hard before it had an initial move back. So I think this thing's probably on its way. What I'd be looking for here for confirmation, look, you've already got the daily market structure shift. Well, not market structure shift. You got the breaker structure right here. I'd be looking for that back test. Give me that confirmation, just like I have it drawn out. Break up, back test, and then rip. Give me some confirmation before it goes, and then I'd be happy to take a long. I'm pretty sure it has bullish divergence. I mean, it's got hidden bullish divergence right here on the weekly. I guess that's all you really need, right? Do you think BTC catch 20 MA on weekly is bear? I don't know, bro. I don't use the MAs like that. I can only tell you how I trade and how I look at the charts. It's hard for me to pull up somebody else's indicators and tell them something because I don't use that indicator or tool. It's not even an indicator. Let me go look at. I don't know, man, about this one. This one's a little weird. In one sense, it's a range that you're stuck in right now, but I can't tell if it's like accumulation. It could be. I guess things get bullish here if you get back above this $7.60, $8 level. So right now it's putting in a higher low on the weekly, which is a good sign, right? You have your low, you have your high, there's your higher low. The market structure shift happens when you take out this high. So price comes up here and it does this. It's going to go. And it's probably going to go take out this high up here around 15. So, it's been accumulating for a couple years. So if this ends up being like a giant inverse head and shoulders, which kind of looks a little bit like, right? You see what I mean there? Essentially, it's just accumulation pattern, right? You would take the measured move, which is the width of this channel, or that, from the top, and it would take you up into this area on this $13 level. Could go higher. It's pretty volatile in the zone here, but you can see we got hung up back here at $13 a few times, right? So that would be a nice place. This one obviously was a very volatile move, but we get hung up at that $13 level. That would be a nice target if we can get back above $7.68. So could be a 2x move there. That's cool. That's Neo. But you got to hold this low. You want to hold that low at 430. Otherwise, it's back down to the bottom of the range. Yeah, no problem, JT. Cypher Neo Light. What LITE? Is that a stock? I mean, this thing's up only, dude. I guess if you're going to get a pullback, I would look to this zone here. If you're looking to get in, you're looking maybe down here. It's filling a gap right now. You can see there's a CME gap on the daily. Starting to fill it, but if you maybe catch some support around the 790, 800. But yeah, the trend's up, man. I don't really know what else to say about this one. I mean, you're slipping a short-term trend right here. So maybe it does get a pullback into one of these support zones we have listed. Maybe down here, like I said, 800 might be a good area. If you get acceptance back below 800, I think you get acceptance back into this range here. So see how it's been chopping around in this range? Acceptance back in here just means it's going to continue in the range. So otherwise, it's up. I wouldn't fade it. Let me see if there's any bearish divergence formulating. I'm sure there are. There's a little bit, but not really like anything definitive. It's definitely starting to populate on the weekly. So if the weekly starts to turn down, that's going to be a strong triple drive of bullish divergence. So we'll see. This thing's up, though. It's defying gravity. What's NB? So NioCorp Development, it's up against resistance. Here's the previous range you were in, right? So look, when you pumped up, you came down, you chopped around here before you tried to make another attempt up. You put in support around $5, right? You're up against that resistance now. When you lose a support, it becomes resistance. Just like when you break resistance, it then becomes your support. So if you can break back into this range, well, you gain acceptance back in here. You could be starting to target some of the highs, potentially up here around $8. So if you get back up here, boom, could make your way back up here. There's probably a little bit of a mini range in here somewhere. If you pull up like your volume profile, I don't really feel like doing all that right now, but I'd imagine there's a mini range in there with a POC somewhere around this area. I'm just going to guess, or it's here where we're at. Let me just take a look. I didn't want to do it, but now I'm doing it. Yep, there's your POC right around here, around $6. So look, you get, $6, it might be a little bit of hiccup there. That's the POC. So it's the highest traded area in the range. So yeah, we'll see. Do I trade with channels? Sometimes. If I see a range, I'll use it. I'll use channels. And I range trade seldom. Like when I'm day trading, I like the range trade because I like sweeps. Sweeps are always fun. But I'm like, when I swing trade, I like the trend like a trending market when I'm swinging. Just because I get bored in ranges. I have to wait forever to get a position. I don't have patience. I have patience, but not that much. What are your thoughts on Celsius? I don't know. Let me go look at Bitcoin first. I'm going to go look at my trades first. By the way, guys, if you're tuning in for the first time, you haven't followed or subscribed, hit that like, hit that follow, hit that subscribe. Do the channel a huge favor. And also, you get notified when we go live 6 days a week. Some days we're going live twice a day between myself and Ben. And we also have a free Discord. If you want to join a group of real traders, go to tacticalhedgetraders.com. Check out the free button. It just says join Discord right at the top. Just click that. You have to verify, and then you can come join a real group of traders and see what it's about. We live trade. We have group sessions. We help sharpen iron sharpens iron at the end of the day. We're all just trying to get better. Some full-time traders, some newer traders. So all levels welcome. Also, we got free courses on the website. So check that out if you're looking to learn how to trade. It's free. Like Ben says, he's seen people charge thousands of dollars for the material that he's giving for free, and our shit's better. I'm going to tell you straight up. Why do I know it's better? Because we actually trade with it and it works. And Ben teaches people how to use it, and they're successful. He mentors people as well. That's a whole different thing, though. So look, Bitcoin, I'm looking for my move. Back down to here. I just destroyed all my TA on this thing. Let's see if this trend holds. I really want to see this level hold here, but we're beneath VWAP. So we'll see. Anyways, Celsius. I can't spell. Whew, Celsius looks bad. Yeah, don't look too great here. So you're up against support here, right at this level. So around 33. All right, your resistance is still up here. I'm going to just use this one right here. This is still resistance around 37.50. Looks like the bear flag it looks like a bear flag, man. If you lose this low around 33, you are coming down. I think your next level doesn't sit until about $24. So, better hope that this 33 level holds. And to the upside, you got to get back above 37 before you can actually start to flip bullish again in the short term. That was the range you were in before. You lost it, and now you're starting to consolidate under it. It looks more bearish than bullish, dude. Or ma'am, whoever's asking. But doesn't mean it can't get a pop. But look, what's the trend been? It's just been high, low, lower high, lower low. So even if it does get a pop here, let's say it does sweep and it gets a run back up, this is the trend until structure's flipped. You know what I mean? So those are your levels on Celsius. We go look at BYRN. Someone asked for that. Berkshire Hathaway. I gotta go look and see who has. There's earnings tomorrow. So Goldman Sachs had earnings today. We're gonna check that out after this one. And then I want to see what else is happening. Oof. This thing looks like it's sitting on a cliff right now. So there's your support on Berkshire Hathaway around 400. If it loses that level, your next big low is not down to about 350. So essentially down here around 350, 360. So you want to hold this level here. High you need to take out is up here. It's this range. Take out this range and prove that it can go up. That's what you need to see on the higher time frames. Looks a little bit more bearishly postured though. I like money flows coming out. Momentum's down. I think this thing's more down than up at this point, if I got to be honest. But I would want to see this 400 loss. If 400 gets lost, then I subscribe to the downside. But I mean, it's been trending up for so long, it's hard to really fade it. But you see what I mean? Like, look at that. This is a big level, so it's either going to bounce here, or it's gonna dump hard. We'll see. That's Berkshire Hathaway. I typed what wrong? Oh. I did type it wrong. You're right. It's funny. That's actually a stock, though. Just shows you I can TA anything, right? This looks fucking worse, dude. What are we looking at? What the hell is this? You know what happens to everybody who invested here? They ended up working at McDonald's. It says it in the pattern there. Jesus, man, this thing's terrible. Look, dude, it's down until it's not. Your support's down here. I kind of wish it would have been the other one, if I'm being honest. You're coming into a little area on the daily that could, give you a little bit of a bounce around $5. But ultimately, the big level on the weekly is down at 250. Trend is down until it's not. This looks like a giant distribution here. I mean, look, what happens when you lose a trend, right? There's your trend. When you lose it, oftentimes you do the full sweep and take a whole trend back. So it could come all the way down if it wanted to. How many levels to the upside? I mean, look, the daily, I guess the daily high is at $10. So if you want to get bullish short term, you need to get back above $10. Flip that, give me some market structure, then I might get bullish on this thing. But yeah, BYRN looks terrible. Sorry. But here's the thing, I guess the downside's limited at this point. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make light of the situation. This thing has been hurt pretty bad. Yeah, no problem, Killian. Yeah, I'll go check out now. Damn, this thing got beat down pretty hard. Well, I'm gonna see something real quick. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Well, look, I mean, it's pretty bearish. I'd say, if anything, right now, I mean, it's obviously pretty bearish. It's been bleeding forever. This is the level. I'd watch that $69 level. I don't really see anything that says this is going to turn around just yet. Sure, we'll get little pumps up like we've seen, but there's no structure at all. Even on the daily, there's no daily structure. Lower time frame on the daily, I guess, your resistance is at 99,100. If you get a pump back up into that area, that might be the place to look for a rejection. If it flips, then you maybe have a bigger move back up to like 127. Otherwise, I think you're coming down to 69. I gotta go check this real quick. Did I miss my trade? No, I didn't yet. There's my trend. That was a fake out earlier. Alright, trend's getting a little bit more clear. Did we sweep the liquidity? Oh shit, we swept. See this right here? This actually might be the breakout. So we swept that liquidity there, and we got bullish divergence on the lower time frames starting to form. So, I mean, I would really like to see it come down a little bit more, but if it did pump here, I wouldn't be surprised either, because things have been so irrational today. The 1 hour needs to reset. Anyways, is this a loop? No, this isn't a loop, dude. This is a real person sitting here talking to you. Good question, though. Yeah, I got a few more in me that I'm probably going to jump, guys. Look, if you're new, you're not subscribed, you're not following, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow. You'll get notifications. We go live 6 days a week. Myself and Ben, multiple times a day some days. You'll see him around 5 p.m. Eastern and me closer to 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're interested in becoming a trader or joining a real trading community, check out tacticaledgetraders.com. Free to join the Discord. You can go to that website, tacticaledgetraders.com. Hit the join Discord at the top. You just got to verify, and you can be part of a real group of traders. And if you're looking to learn how to trade, we have free courses you can take advantage of on the website. The entire course is free. It's not like we gatekeep a little bit to kind of like, suck you in. No, it's not like that. We give it out for free because we're confident in our what we're putting out there. Some people would sell stuff like that. I mean, that's fine, but we're giving it out for free because the information is, what's the point? If we're doing it the right way and we're real traders and we're confident in what we do works, we don't need money for knowledge. You know what I mean? Look, there's your range on Hydrograph Clean Power. You just swept the range low. So the next point is to take out the high that put in the low. That's right here. So I'd be looking up for 630 is your target. It's headed up there. Look, this is resistance till it's not. Maybe you get a pullback. If it breaks and retests, then maybe you have a shot at taking out the high. So it all starts up here around the 630, 635 level. I think you meant replay. Oh, no, it's not on replay mode. Now, somebody asked if this was a loop. I guess they, I don't know what they mean by that. I guess if you're just looking at a screen, some people just keep like a loop there. They just don't, they're not there. They just have their charts running. I guess they're just trying to like siphon in viewers. I don't know what that gains, but hey, is what it is, right? Who did I learn from? I learned from the internet. No, I did a lot of reading. A lot of it was textbooks, me looking up, like technical analysis stuff. I've got a few technical analysis of the financial markets by John Murphy. Kind of gave me my foundation on just how to read support resistances, what higher lows were, how candlestick formations work. And then I really just started kind of like looking around, looking into like smart money concepts, trend trading. I even like played the indicator game for a while where I thought indicators were the way to go. I was actually a mentor over at Crypto Banter, which was it's like a crypto related trading school / media site on YouTube. They're like a big channel, but I used to teach trading over there. I've just been doing it for a little bit. I got like 6 years on the books. Most of it was self-taught, but I did pick up some things from other mentors that were teaching as well, who've been around the block a few times. And then I met Ben over at Tactical Edge Trading. I've known Ben for about 2 years, him and Nick, and I learned a lot there as well. So I just pick things up as I go. I see something that works, or I see somebody using something that works. I see how it can fit into my plan, the way I trade. And if I can adapt it, I can adapt it. Otherwise, I just learn it for just the sake of knowing it. But yeah, APA. And we'll go look at ONDS first. Somebody asked for that earlier. To be honest, this thing looks like shit. It's like between a rock and a hard place right now, if I'm being honest. It looks like the momentum's coming down. I don't see a bottom yet. Trend is down, obviously. You're at support. You're holding support, but barely, right? You see where we're at right now. So I think decision gets made when this little consolidation range gets broken. If it breaks to the upside and takes out some of these highs around $11, maybe you do take out the high. Otherwise, if you lose this, you're probably coming down to this $6 level here, $5-6 level, which would make a lot of sense too. I bet you there's bearish divergence on these highs here. Hold on, let me see. Yup. Look at that. Do you see how on the weekly momentum shifting down as price was shifting up? This is them offloading into retail. This is them selling into people like big money. So this is a real top here, I think. Could we get another push up? Sure. But yeah. That's ONDS. I think I'm going to call it, guys. It's been about an hour and 15. Yeah. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow. You'll get notifications. If you tune in early and you have hit tickers, you want me to look over, I can usually get them. If you show up an hour to 15 hour after I've been streaming, there's a good chance I'm probably not going to be able to get your ticker. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow. You'll get notifications. You'll be here first. You'll get your ticker looked at first. Also check out tacticaledgetraders.com and join a real trading community. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And I might be live tomorrow. Ben will be live. Me and Ben are probably going to do a duo live, but it's probably going to be on YouTube. So keep an eye out for that one. If you're not following our YouTube, it's Tactical Edge Trading Academy. Links are in the bio. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in today. And you guys have a good night.